Hi, it's Stephanie from the Kingstanding Food Community again, and this is your Friday demo workshop. And today we're going to be making chocolate using raw ingredients, so it does end up being a vegan chocolate. It's quite rich and dark. So this is how you make chocolate. You're going to need just 3 simple ingredients. One is this one is pure cocoa butter. Okay, you can get this easily online. It's cheaper when you buy it online in bulk and with minimal packaging. So get yourself 1 big tub to start with, and then from then on you can order it just loose in a bag and top up your tub to store it in. It makes postage a bit cheaper. The next ingredient is cocoa powder, and you can get this from almost any store. So just check that it's a raw cocoa powder and it doesn't have anything else in it, and you're good to go. Not to be confused with drinking chocolate. Okay, and the last ingredient is going to be a syrup. Now today we're going to use Lyle's golden syrup. You can use maple syrup or agave syrup, depending on your personal taste. I have a bit of a sweet tooth, so I'm going to go with the extra sweet golden syrup today. Okay, so first thing what I'm going to do, I'm going to get out our cocoa butter, and this is what cocoa butter looks like. It's used in cosmetics as well, so make sure that when you're buying cocoa butter you're getting a food grade cocoa butter. You don't want one that is not fit for human consumption. So this is a food grade organic pure cocoa butter that I have, and it's rock solid. It's not good to work with as this, so to make it easier you get a grater and grate all the bits off your lump, and that gives you something finer to work with so that we can measure out in here. Okay, so there's our cocoa butter. Now if I just direct your attention, this is my workshop station today. I have a little camping stove. In this pan is about 1 inch or less of water, and then on the top I have a metal bowl, but you can use a glass bowl instead as well. And this is basically a do-it-yourself version of a bain-marie. We're just going to gently heat our concoction up. We're not going to heat it up directly itself. So the first ingredient, the cocoa butter, I've got a little measuring cup, and I'm just filling that up with the fine cocoa butter that we've grated earlier, and just making it roughly level and packed in. Okay, so this is a 1/4 cup measurement, so I'm going to want 4 of these because I want 1 whole cup of cocoa butter in my pan. I'm going to just pop it in there, and that'll start to melt. So 1, 2, 3, and it looks like I'm going to need to grate some more cocoa butter, so I'll just put the 3 in there. Get my grater back out again. Excuse the noise for a minute. That might be just about enough. Let's give it a go. Yeah, I like that. Okay, 4. So I've got roughly 1 cup of cocoa butter now in my DIY bain-marie. So the next ingredient is going to be our cocoa powder. And it's the same again, but we don't want a full cup, we want a half a cup. The more of this that you add in to your chocolate, the more bitter it's going to be. This is the whole bitter chocolate flavour, so I'm going to be relatively gentle with this. And once you add this in to your pan, you really have to be careful and monitor the temperature, because this will burn really easily. So we want to keep it on a nice low heat and just very slowly melt and mix everything together. That's one. Not rush it. If you try and rush it and put the temperature up, you will burn the chocolate and it will taste foul. So, and smell your whole kitchen out at the same time. So there we go, 1 cup of cocoa powder, and I've barely used half a cup, of cocoa powder, and I've barely used any of this now, so I can keep this for future chocolate or for cooking, etc. Okay, so the next ingredient, and final ingredient for the basis of all chocolate making, golden syrup. And you need to put about 3 tablespoons in, depending on your personal preference. Now, when we're measuring that, it can get tricky, so don't worry about whether or not you got it exact. Once you've made a few batches of chocolate, you'll have an inkling for how much you want to use in there. So I'm doing 1. It's very tricky to measure out golden syrup. This stuff is just very sticky. 2. And 3, and now I'm going to let the spoon rest in there because I'm going to use that to gently stir my mixture together. Be careful because the bowl does get very hot, even on a low temperature, so use an oven glove or a tea towel to hold it in place while you're stirring. I'll just give you a quick view of what that looks like. There we are. And then keep that stirring just until it's all melted. We don't need to cook it in any way, we're just melting everything together. Now I'm going to add 2 extra ingredients that are optional. The first one is vanilla, and I'm just going to add maybe a teaspoon tops of vanilla, just to give it an extra depth of flavour. And I've got the next one is some sea salt, and I'm just going to add a pinch. You don't want to add too much, you don't want it being a salty concoction. There we go, and just make sure I break up those lumps of powder in there as well. The cocoa powder tends to clump up and not mix in properly, so I'm just going to beat those into submission. Okay, and once it's all melted together, we can turn off the heat. Ta-da! And then we need to set the chocolate. So I'll move you back over there. We're going to use today these little cupcake cases. These are really cheap. You can get a whole wad of them for £1. And they make really good sizes for your chocolates. Now don't fill them all the way up to the top. We're just talking about 1 millimetre or 2, just like a normal chocolate button. and then we can fold over the paper afterwards when they're dry, fold them in, and they act as a little individual wrapper for your chocolates, so they're quite handy. I'm just going to lay them out just there, and we're now going to pour some chocolate into each one, just a little bit in each one. Now, if your kids aren't fond of the richer, darker chocolates, you can present it in a different way to them. We found that if you use it as a covering for chocolate apples, that generally goes down a treat regardless of whether or not they like dark chocolate in particular. And this is especially good for those kids out there that actually don't like things that are just all sugar and sweet. And they actually tend to prefer this kind of chocolate to the dairy milk chocolates that are really heavy in sugar. So as I'm filling each case, I would say that each one takes approximately a tablespoon in the bottom, and that's about enough. I'm getting quite a lot of chocolates out of this. This will keep me in supply for a while because my little girl is actually allergic to dairy and soya, which is quite a pain because all the dairy-free stuff coming out these days, the dairy-free chocolate, has soya instead. So it's not so easy to get her treats like this out and about. So I try and make up a bit of chocolate in advance for her and just store it in a tub in the fridge so she doesn't miss out. There we go. I've still got more left. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 chocolates. I reckon I can get another 4 out of that, if they'll fit on the table. You don't want to fill them too deep. This is a rich chocolate. Less is more. Okay, just about done. And now I will show you my chocolate creations. 24 little chocolates out of this. So now you just need to let them set. So we have to wait now. You can pop them on a baking tray, which makes them easier to transport around, and then just pop the tray into the fridge, and that'll speed things up a bit rather than leaving them out on the open. And that's what I'm going to do with these. So do make sure you prepare a little fridge space beforehand for that. And that's it. And it didn't take hardly any ingredients either. I've got lots of cocoa powder left, lots of cocoa butter left, lots of syrup left. I can bang these out for the kids time and time again. So enjoy, good luck. And if you do make one, give us a share and let us see what you've done. Bye.